Hi everyone, Sarah Klein here.
And I'm Dr. Stacy Reuille-Dupont.
And this short video is for anyone who may be experiencing anxiety or work with a population or clients who experience anxiety. So Dr. Stacy, tell me, what is anxiety and how might we be able to identify it in some of our yoga students?
So when you're looking at anxiety, and often I'll tell my clients, it's a little bit like fear gone wild. Anxiety comes in with this feeling of fear. It's a hypervigilance in the nervous system. It's a hyper arousal. And so it's got a lot of energy behind it. There's racing thoughts. I can't relax. I want to climb out of my skin. Those are some of the things that you might hear from people. You might also hear them saying things like, I can't relax, I can't let go, I'm too afraid. Those are all some of the ways that they're going to describe what's going on in the system for them. Really, what we know is it's a hyperarousal of the nervous system. And what ends up happening is the adrenaline, the cortisol, the stress hormones in the body begin to feed the mind. So if you think about having something come at you where it's something to be afraid of, and then you look around and there's nothing there, the mind says, well, I feel this way in the body. Something must be wrong. There's danger somewhere. And so as a result, then the mind starts going, well, what if? What if there's something I'm missing? What if there's something that's wrong? And now you've got the mind feeding back into the body. So it creates almost a nice little self-fulfilling cycle of I feel nervous, I think I'm nervous. I think I'm nervous, I feel more nervous. And it becomes harder and harder to regulate, partly because the whole point of fear is to keep us alive on a biological level. So as we have more fear, we start to worry about what we're missing, what's going to get us, what's going to take us down, what are we got to run from? And when there's nothing to run in our environment from, we start looking into the mind trying to go, what if, what if, what if, what if? And it's often really hard at that point to just interact and stop it, which is why some of the physical practices can become so helpful, because they help metabolize out all the stress hormones. The stress system doesn't always know if I'm exercising, which is stress on the body, or if I'm thinking what if thoughts and I'm having too much fear in the system. The physical practices get both.
So yoga, research has shown that yoga can be such a support to work with anxiety. Why? First, what is yoga? What is yoga? As defined by Patanjali, yoga is chitta vritti nirodha. Yoga is the practice of stilling the fluctuations of the mind. So it creates a container where we allow ourselves to separate from the chatter of the mind and be able to witness it. And when we can witness it, it loosens its hold on us. Then, of course, we have the physical practice of asana, which does wonders to toning the nervous system. And in yoga, we use the word prana. It means life force energy. And anybody who has done a good yoga practice knows that feeling in Shavasana where your skin becomes really soft, you feel the vibration, you feel vitality run through you. And that's the moving, the cultivating, the filling the body with this life force energy that is called prana. And prana moves in multiple directions, but just to keep things simple, it moves up and it moves down. And so when it moves up, it's prana with a small p, and when it moves down, it's apana. And each posture either can be neutral with balanced up and down energetic flow, or it can be hyper, one or the other. And so if we are experiencing sensations of anxiety, or we're working with somebody who has high levels of anxiety, we want to be very mindful with what types of postures we're offering them. They have a lot of lifted energy. They're living more in the sympathetic. So naturally, we don't want to give them poses that are going to emphasize that. So that's where forward folds can be so supportive. So the seat of apana is the tailbone. And when we stretch and work in that way, we are dropping the energy. So if you think of any of the forward folds, we're really emphasizing the tailbone. So Stacy, what else would you like to add to that?
Well, as we move through the musculature and the fascia system, we're sending signals throughout the body. So there's this bidirectional communication all the time in our physical system. The body's communicating our experience, we're making meaning of that, and it's communicating back down into movements and other things that are happening. So as we're stretching through the spine, say through the tailbone and through the back system, and we're breathing into the back during that forward fold, we're allowing the small muscles of the spine to be stretching between the vertebra. We're allowing those big sheaths of fascia to stretch and to move, and they're sliding. We want them to be sliding, although a lot of us have them more like sticky, like Velcro, and that creates a lot of tension in the system. So as we stretch that fascia and we stretch through those small muscles, we're allowing the system to go, it's okay. We know that taking deep breaths and influences the heart rate. Heart rate is a direct tie to your nervous system. When you're curled up and you're bending forward, we're not, sometimes we're literally physically moving our bodies down, like say in a standing forward fold. Say I'm in a seated forward fold and I've got this part of me contained and I've got the ability to protect it. Now my nervous system feels like, oh, my viscera is protected. I'm going to be okay. I'm safe here. And as I take a deep breath into the back of my body and I allow that diaphragm to move down, massaging into the kidneys, into those structures of the spinal musculature and the fascia system, my body goes, I'm okay. As I release those deep breaths, the parasympathetic nervous system turns on, which then tells the brainstem, see, we're fine. It's okay. We're here. Sometimes in a forward fold, we might be curled up like in a child's pose. We might be where we're holding onto our feet somehow. So we've got a containment of our whole physical system so that we can feel the earth. We can feel this connection to all these different parts of ourselves. And we're able to just be present to this moment. As I'm curling down and in, I'm also reducing the amount of stimulus that's coming in through my eyes, through some, again, the front of me where I might be more unsafe because this is the most unprotected part of me, where I don't have the skeleton in the same way. So as I'm able to draw myself in and protect myself, it tells the brain I'm okay. The heart rate slows down, the breath rate slows down, and that then, like we talked about earlier, reinforces from the body to the mind that things are okay.
So,
There's a lot of information.
Yeah, a lot of information. Here is a takeaway for you. Don't just take this information at face value, apply it into your own practice. If you feel like your mind is racing in the middle of the day, you can feel your heart rate beating really fast. Maybe you start to sweat a little bit. Go ahead, drop into a child's pose, drop into a standing forward fold, take a seated forward fold, and really deepen your exhales and notice how that impacts the system of the body. That's the beauty of yoga, is it gives us the tools and the techniques to work with the systems of the body. And another little take home that I always like to encourage people is when we are in that state of rest and digest, all the wellness systems of the body work. When we're in a state of fight and flight, they turn off. So give your body half a chance to do what it does so brilliantly by creating the space. So Stacy and I are so excited to share our 8-week course, which is starting at the end of this month. We just launched the summit. We've been really geeking out on this topic of integrating yoga and psychology, modern research, science, and the ancient wisdom of yoga. And so this course is really for anybody, mostly for our yoga teachers, our mental health practitioners, and our total yoga geeks who are looking to understand why yoga works with the language of modern psychology and research-based studies.
The psychological science behind why we do what we do. How does that body influence the mind and the mind influence the body?
So we will be coming at you this month with lots of little take homes to integrate into your personal practice, as well as into your teaching or maybe your mental health clinic. So thanks for watching. Go do a forward fold, notice how it impacts your nervous system, and leave a comment below.
Thank you.